What's going on, guys? Look, I'm sitting here and I gotta be honest, I can't think about anything else other than this Zoie Burgher situation this morning. It's very bizarre to me. The whole thing is getting weirder and weirder and more convoluted and complex. Basically, the latest round with Zoie Burgher is Keemstar and others are now making the suggestion that Zoie might be a pedo or pedo, which is not the same as being a pedophile in the context of the word, but it has an implied accusation to it regardless, which is on the responsibility of those saying it, not those perceiving it. But still, that's a different discussion for a different day. It's also a different discussion for a different day about all of the different things, the ins and outs with Zoie Burgher. I could sit here and talk to you about the moral obligations and ramifications of what she's doing and how there's a double standard between her and, let's say, a 26-year-old male YouTuber who'd be doing the exact same thing. Would that be accepted? Absolutely not. But here's where things get interesting for me, because I can't think about anything else than this one story, because this is kind of appropriate to my life. And this is a very awkward story that I'm about to tell, but it's one that it hit me so hard because I've been through something similar. All right. I have an 11-year-old daughter. Okay. You've seen her on my channel and all of that stuff. And about a year ago, I found her on YouTube watching lesbian porn. She was 10 at the time. I freaked out. Not freaked out yelling, but in my mind, I'm like, why is she doing this? She's 10 years old and all that. But here's what I didn't do. I didn't freak out at YouTube. I didn't look for the channels. I didn't even look at the channel names. I didn't freak out at the fact that the content was out there, because I accept the fact that the content was out there. Instead, I looked at myself as a parent and go, why do I not know my daughter's watching this? So what I did is I had a conversation with my daughter and I talked to her about any questions she might have. I sat through a very awkward fucking conversation. Whew, that was awkward. And asked all the questions, answered any questions she might have. And we talked about why it was wrong to do such things on YouTube. But not one time did I ever think about going after the YouTuber, because the failings here are not with YouTube, even though there are broken age restrictions and all that stuff that anybody can go on and find. But that's not the problem. The problem is parents not knowing what their children are doing on YouTube. That's the bigger issue. And they don't want to answer questions because it's awkward and weird. And this has always been the case, not just on YouTube. It's been with, any suggestive material on radio or television, early days of the internet. This has always been the case. And now the latest medium is YouTube, which is so much more complex because you don't think of YouTube as a naturally sexual entity. But the reality is there's a lot of sexually explicit content on YouTube, and it's up to you as parents to be monitoring at least slightly what your kids are watching, what they're being inundated towards. And when you find that out, it's not about ignoring it or even going after the material that's on there, because it's okay to be on there. But you've got to ask your children these questions and talk to them. And while it might be awkward, you're fucking parents. At the end, that's your job. You are parents. So I guess I'm getting tired of this entire Zoie Burgher situation, because while morally you can make the argument that she shouldn't be doing this, but that's on her, because not all of her clientele, all of her subscribers are 12-year-old boys. Many of them are me, guys my age that like looking at boobies. She's got great boobies. And she makes decent content for what she does. So no, it's not really fair to say that Zoie Burgher is morally wrong or she has a moral obligation. No, because to an extent, she really doesn't. She's going to make her content and she knows she's going to get age restricted on YouTube. She is playing within the realm of the YouTube rules. But as consumers, whether being a parent of a child consumer or a consumer yourself, you have to decide whether or not it is morally and or just plain out acceptable for either you or your child, no matter what age, to be watching it. So take a little bit of responsibility and stop blaming Zoie Burgher for your own fucking shortcomings. That's all I got. Fuck me.